What do you think serves the average person better as a methodology for fitness? CrossFit or hybrid athleticism?
Right then, now that I've got your attention with that somewhat controversial intro question, I thought I would give a little bit of context as to how this conversation came to be. This is James Newbury, 4 times CrossFit Games athlete and 4 times Australia's fittest man. I mean, just look at this absolute specimen. Anyways, back in February, I was over in Australia spending a bit of time working, exploring and collaborating with some cool people. Whilst I was on the Gold Coast, James and I spent the day together, went for a run with a crew in the morning and did some lifting in the afternoon. Then we sat down and recorded a couple of podcasts, from which comes this absolutely brilliant discussion about which is better, CrossFit or hybrid training.
You're going to hate my answer. You're going to freaking hate it.
Don't say both. That would be the biggest cop-out.
No, I'm not going to say both. I feel like what serves that person in general terms is literally, and this sucks to say, but it's just literally whatever fires that person up to do their fucking session. That is it. If they just love hitting tries, hit a try, man, and go do some deadlifts. Cool, do it. If you love going into the gym because you want to go hang out with your buddies and smash a functional fitness class where you're going to do some cleans and box jumps and some double unders and probably do some deadlifts and some snatches and some pull-ups, go do that. And then if you just want to do everything, be my guest, do everything, and that's pretty much what I do. I'll happily go and ride a 2-hour bike ride with a bunch of mates and have a blast. I'll happily go run a marathon. I'll happily go to the CrossFit gym and hit a CrossFit class. That's all I do these days. If I can find something cool and interesting, like if we find a race, we find a 100-miler, cool, let's have a crack. But I feel like if you want to go down the path, if you love specific sport-focused stuff, do hybrid. If you love constantly varied functional movement executed at high intensity because you just want to get in and get out, go do CrossFit. If you don't have 2 hours to go for a bike ride, go to a CrossFit class. If you just want to be jacked and strong, probably go do some powerlifting and some bodybuilding accessories along the way. And if that's what fires you up to exercise, that is the best thing for you. And this is like diet too. This goes down to diet. I can't give you the recipe that's going to help you be the best version of yourself, but I would just say in general terms, eat more color and variety and you'll be better. I'm not telling you not to eat anything in particular, but eat more variety and you'll probably be better. And I usually just say add in some fermented foods and some sprouts and you'll probably just be edging a little bit closer towards wellness.
I don't hate that answer at all. I entirely agree. And the reason I asked it is because so many of you ask it. And I just want to clear up the fact that it doesn't matter. You're not comparing an apple and an apple. You're comparing an apple and what was that fruit in that fruit bowl before?
Pitaya.
Pitaya. You're not comparing an apple and a pitaya. Yeah. But agreed. The methodology that best suits the person is the one that they can stick to the most effectively and gives them the most joy and fulfillment in 100%. Life.
That's precisely it. And the thing is, whatever's perfect for you right now may not be the thing that fires you up in 12 months.
That's so key as well, because so many people, like the evolution of my fitness journey has been Z's era. Full stringer vest, bodybuilding, let's go. Got to 7% body fat, thought I needed to be leaner. Decided psychologically, this isn't for me. Moved into powerlifting, full meat headery for years and years and years. Got to a point where I decided, you know what? Put down my last deadlift, 267.5, I think it was.
Cool.
Yeah,
it's like,
all right.
Sweet, great. What's next?
Go home, have a pizza, go to work tomorrow. And then what I found from exposing myself to a variety of demands over the years is all of the individual things that those demands give you and how that has actually lifted me up as a person internally. And then as an athlete, once, to bring the violin analogy back, once I have all the strings on the bow, I can play the violin more effectively. And therefore that gives me a better way to explore the world, a better way to interact with people, a better way to socialize with people. The confidence that if you said, Fergus, 100 quid on the table, run a marathon tomorrow, I'd go, oh, for fuck's sake. But I'll take you 100 quid.
Yeah.
And I'm proud and happy that that's something I'll be able to do, because there was a previous version of me, like I said earlier, that wouldn't play a round of golf on the weekend as somebody who likes playing golf because I was worried about my heavy squats on the Monday and the amount of steps I'd do on the golf course impacting my heavy squats.
Exactly. And I feel like a lot of people get stuck in the fact that if it's this sunk cost fallacy, that if someone gets caught in the idea that what they're doing now might not be the thing that they're doing in 5 years, there's no point doing it now. That's not what I feel like we should be focusing on. If you get stuck in the idea that, okay, if I start this journey on being a powerlifter, I'm going to have to see this through for at least the next 10, 15 years until I retire and I decide that I'm just going to sit on the couch. That's not the case. You might do it for a year, froth it, get such a high, meet some really cool people, have some great conversations, have some cool experiences, some memories that you can bank. And next year, you might decide, you know what, I'm going to have a crack at a half marathon. And then that is great. And then you might lose most of the strength that you gained in that period of time. You'll probably
But you don't need to.
But you don't need to.
www.omni-performance.com.
And that's the thing. And then you might just froth on that for the next 12 months. And that's cool. Or 2 years or 3 years. And you might find yourself going back to powerlifting. And that is okay. This is part of the experience. And you just got to do. And I'm not saying just shop around to the next thing. Maybe set yourself some goals, see them through, and then see how you feel at the end of it. And again, whatever you feel like might be perfect for you right now might not be perfect for you in 12 months, but it's just about experiencing as much as we possibly can and whatever brings you joy.
Whatever you're doing, train with intent. And my recommendation to add on to that would be to have a plan for whatever, even if the plan is across different things, have some structure that you can work to, because far too many people randomize things too much, which can expose them to injury. It can expose them to not enough volume to be able to adapt. If you're enjoying that, and that's what you're getting from it is the joy of exercising, then there's nothing wrong with that inherently. But if you're wanting to move yourself to a different level of fitness, a different body composition, whatever it might be, then intent and structure and planning are the only ways that you're going to get there.
A plan 100% of the time, because there has been no time that I haven't had a plan in place to execute. At the moment, I don't have a training program that I follow religiously on a daily basis. I have plans in other areas of my life that are taking up a lot of time, and those plans I'm executing to a high degree. Then I've resorted to the fact that when I wake up to do what I'm doing, I've built a foundation that allows me, if I would like to go out and run my 10K, and then the next day do my deadlifts, and then the next day do some CrossFit, and then the next day do some back squats, and the next day do some bodybuilding. I have the ability to do that without putting myself in jeopardy of risk of injury. That is where I situate myself right now. But if you said to me, hey, James, you're coming with me at the end of the year to run 100 miles.
Which is provisionally happening, to confirm, everybody watching, provisionally happening.
I would get prepared for that on a program. I would say, okay, cool. You've done these types of things before. Get me as well prepared as I possibly can, so I am not the anchor that slows us the fuck down. You know what I mean? And that's
it's a nice place to move slowly, to be fair. So yeah, you'll be okay. But no, it's
planning and stick to that routine. And the best thing you can possibly do in every aspect is, I said this in the last podcast, chop wood, carry water, be the most consistent worker in the room and do the basics really well, and you'll be elite in whatever you do.
Final message from me back on home soil. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. 2 things to reference. First of all, the Modern Mind podcast, which is available in the link in the description down below, where you can find a bit more about James, his background, what makes him tick, and what got him to the position that he is today, the man behind the video that you saw today. And secondly, the Omnia Performance podcast, also available in the link in the description down below, where we discuss more of a performance consideration and all the things that going into competing at the level that James did at the CrossFit Games. So those are both in the link in the description down below and available on all audio platforms, so do please check them out. And if you've enjoyed this type of content, do please let us know in the comments, as we've got loads of clips, loads of conversations like this one that we can share and put on the main channel. But we're only going to do that if you let us know that you had a good time. So let us know that you had a good time by liking the video, commenting down below with your thoughts and or feelings, making sure that you've subscribed, and I will see you next time.